This project focuses on understanding the Athenian Agora and Forum Romanum as 3D architectural spaces. The main argument of the project is that both the Agora and Forum have been influential throughout history in the development of civic public spaces. It also wishes to understand the factors that brought up this success. First, we must define a civic public space. There are many varying definitions, but each share some elements in common. It is a space designated for the use of the population of an area, with the intention of evoking ideas of pride and awareness. Examples of civic spaces with different names through history, such as plazas, squares, or parks. The examples on the screen are Trafalgar Square in London, Old Town Square in Prague, Plaza de España in Seville, and Millennium Park in Chicago. Although different in context and location, they have key elements in common, which can be traced back to ancient Greece and Rome. For this project, we will focus on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. as a point of comparison. Why are civic spaces important? They have been used for centuries to provide opportunities for civic pride, spread of ideas, appreciation of history, and in more modern times, tourism. Before analyzing the factors that make them successful, we should have an understanding of the Agora and Forum spaces themselves. Agora was a large open space in the heart of the Greek city, strategically located along the Panathenaic Way, a main road of Athens. It is commonly described as the marketplace, but it became so much more than that for the Greeks. Hosting governmental offices, meeting chambers, sanctuaries, cults, festivals, and artwork, it soon became an integral part of ancient Greek life. The floor plan shows the diversity of uses in the buildings and the relationship between roads, structures, and open spaces. The Roman Forum. Like the Agora, the Roman Forum was a place for many uses, which developed organically over time. It was located along the main road of the Via Sacra and adjacent to the vital Capitoline Hill. The Forum, initially a marketplace as well, would go on to become a venue for processions, elections, trials, and entertainment for the Romans, as it grew and its boundaries were defined. Through the floor plan, we can grasp some of the similarities the Forum has to the Agora, the idea of open space delineated by busy streets and a variety of structures for the people. So what are the factors that made these places successful and so influential? The first and most obvious is the use of light. Both Greeks and Romans designated a space to remain open with an abundance of natural light. As we can see with this model of the Agora, the buildings were also relatively low to the ground, which would increase the natural light. There was also a necessity for shade. In the same Agora model, we can see their use of stoas as open spaces with covering to protect both the people and artwork from natural elements. For the success of the Agora and Forum was a diversity of its uses. This was achieved not only by leaving a flexible open area, but also by building different types of structures along the open space and delineating it. Some of these structures were religious, such as the Tholos, Temple of Ares, and the Hephaestion. Some were civic spaces, such as law courts, the Bouleuterion, and the Library of Pantaenus. Some, like the Stoas, hosted a variety of uses, from places for speeches to galleries. Vegetation and water. In this model of the Forum, we can see the use of trees and potentially fountains to soften the hardscape and provide a lighter, fresher environment. Another factor was the use of monuments. Both the Greeks and Romans used monuments throughout their open spaces as a reminder of the Republic. These monuments would often tell the stories of the triumphs of the cities, histories of the people, and the ideological perspectives of their culture. Gathering spaces. Both the Agora and Forum developed through time along busy streets. This, in combination with the diversity of functions within and around the areas, guaranteed that there would be high transit through them. The strategy of road and open space ensured that the Agora and Forum would not only be places to go through, but also places to stay. How can we apply all of this to a modern civic space? Unlike the gradual development of the Agora and Forum, the National Mall was planned and designed by Frenchman Pierre L'Enfant. The site was originally chosen for its centrality. The goal in designing the National Mall and surrounding structures such as the White House was to align the nation with successful civilization through modern means. We can see all factors present through some modern ways. For example, there is a variety of uses along the mall, such as civic buildings and the more modern museums. Obviously, the mall itself is a large open space and a centralized location for the city. There is vegetation and water at a large scale, trees, grass areas, fountains, and ponds. This takes the factor further, achieving alluring gathering spaces. There is also an abundance of monuments of all scales, all sharing a common theme of war, history, and patriotism. The monuments have evolved to incorporate larger areas of the landscape, further pushing the idea of a place to stop and reflect. All these factors contribute to a very successful place of both transit and pause, making the National Mall an ideal public space for its area. From this analysis, we can gather that the origin of successful civic public spaces can be traced back to ancient Greece and Rome. Naturally, there has been an evolution of these characteristics, yet there are clear comparisons to the Agora and Forum. Going forward, these factors can potentially be applied and used in the design of future civic spaces. There is a clear value in looking back at the strategies achieved by ancient civilization, which have evidently stood the test of time.